states everywhere. So thanks for that. Next, we'll go to Representative Carter. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank all of the witnesses for being here. Appreciate this very much. Ms. Hopper, I'll begin with you. You know, I have the honor and privilege of representing Georgia. Not only are we the #1 forestry state in the nation, but we have made great strides in also in solar energy. In fact, we're in the top 10 now, I believe #7, and we're headed shortly to be #4. And I've been a strong proponent of this. I think that solar energy is great, and it's certainly something that that we've taken a lot of pride in and made a lot of progress in, as I say, in the state of Georgia, without mandates, without any mandates. This has been totally voluntary, and letting the market, as Mr. Caston has indicated, letting the market do its thing and guide us where it's going to guide us. And certainly this has been beneficial to us in the state of Georgia. In fact, we've got the largest solar production factory in the country in Dalton, Georgia, and the largest solar panel production. And that's very important. But these projects are necessary and are great for a number of reasons. But I've got serious concerns about aspects of the supply chain. You know, we talk a lot about the supply chain nowadays, and one of the things that we talk about in particular with solar panels is just we still depend on China. We still depend on China for the critical minerals that are necessary to manufacture the solar panels, even here in America. China is the OPEC of critical minerals. I've got an article here, Madam Chair, that I would like to submit for the record, ask unanimous consent. And the title of it is "Behind the Rise of U.S. Solar Power is a Mountain of Chinese Coal." And I would ask for unanimous consent to enter this into the record.
All right, without objection.
You know, Ms. Hopper, would it be fair to say that the biggest reason solar has become so affordable is because China's cheap energy is fueled by coal?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
What is it fueled by then? How are they making these solar panels over there? What are the energy? What energy are they? How are they getting this energy?
There's a number of different parts of China, and depending on where you are in China, some of it is coal, some of it is farmed by hydro. The part of your statement, though, that I don't agree with is that that's the main reason for the price decline. I think the main reason for price decline is really U.S. innovation, American innovation. I mean, I know your company, I know Hanwha, I know Dalton, Georgia, and you know they're innovators, right? They're thinking about ways to drive down cost, to make things more efficient. I think that's the main reason solar prices have declined.
Well, tell me if you're familiar with the company that I'm speaking of in Dalton, and then you recognize that they are dependent on critical minerals from China. How do we address that here in America?
Yeah, no, it's a really important question. I think it goes to the sort of purpose of this hearing. If we can bring back some of those manufacturing elements. So if you think about what goes into a solar panel, right? The first raw material is quartz, right? That is a really abundant resource we have here in the United States. Once you use the quartz to create the silicon, to create the polysilicon, we have mothballed polysilicon facilities here in the United States. Long story, which I'm happy to chat about what happened. If we can create the policies here in the United States so we can sell the polysilicon here in the United States, we don't have to rely on China for any of this. And so I think the kind of policies we're talking about will go to your concern and help. And we don't have to worry about China. We can do it here in the US.
But let me ask you this. If as my colleagues across the aisle are suggesting that we can be energy independent by depending on solar and wind energy alone, are we truly independent if we depend on China for all of our critical minerals that are necessary to build this capacity?
Well, I think that's sort of the point, is that we need to bring those opportunities back to the United States, that we need to be energy independent, and that by good policy.
But how can we be energy independent if we're not going to utilize fossil fuels in order to get us to that point where we can be energy independent?
So I represent the solar industry. I don't take a position on whether or not we go what we do with the other fossil fuels. I am very supportive of the solar industry. So I will let others on this call who are doing policy decide how much oil and gas we should ultimately
Well,
have.
last question, if I may, what is your group doing to move the solar supply chain out of China? Is your group doing anything?
Absolutely. And I know we're out of time, but I think this is so critically important. I'm glad you raised it. Thank you, Madam Chair. We have done a lot to be really clear with our companies that sort of number one priority is that the solar supply chain needs to be ethical, and there needs to be no forced labor, no child labor, nothing in our supply chain. And so we have created a traceability protocol with some third-party auditors to ensure so that manufacturers of product can have a third-party independent audit to ensure that there's no forced labor, that their supply chains are ethical. We've been working with the U.S. government to make sure that is being enforced.
But if you're operating and getting your product out of a country that is obviously using this, then aren't you complicit in it by supporting the Chinese Communist Party?
I don't think so. I think that we have a pretty robust and way to ensure. Sorry, this one is right in my eyes. To ensure that that there's no forced labor in our supply chain.
But
Right,
you
thank
agree
you.
that there is forced labor
All right,
in
the time
China
is,
when the
I
supply
let
chain
you
is-
have a little latitude there, but your time has